What's up, everyone? I hope you guys are doing amazing today. My name is Joshua T. Berglan, but you probably know that because you're on my page. I hope you all have had an amazing holiday season. And, scrolling through my timelines, I'm seeing a lot of different things, but for the first time in a long time, I'm seeing people ask questions. And that's really, really good. Because in a world where we just accept regurgitated opinions, and then with those opinions we have some fighting that goes on because people don't like the opinions that they're giving, and frankly most opinions that people have at this point are, well, talking points from whatever news channel you watch or whatever social media influencer you're paying attention to at the time. That's the depth of most people's knowledge about what's really going on right now, for the most part. However, one of the coolest things ever, to me, is that people are starting to ask questions. Because here's the thing that most people need to accept. No one knows the truth about anything. No one knows the absolute truth about anything. Even our own perspectives, like this one I'm giving you right now, are flawed. Even my truth, what I know in my heart is true because I've lived my life and I know it's true, it's still limited by my perspective. So anyone right now acting like they know what's going on really doesn't. I'm an expert in Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, basically the future world that we're going into. But here's the thing, just because there's a well-planned and well-funded agenda that's in motion and has been in motion since, well, you can go back to the Club of Rome for that. Anyway, or even longer, maybe even Adam and Eve, who knows? But it's been going on for a long time. So I'm an expert in the future. Actually, the future is now. We're here. It's happening, right? These plans, these agendas, they're all taking shape right now. And it doesn't matter who the elected official is, because those plans are, well, they were in motion no matter what. The thing is, though, someone could pull the plug on all of this. Could be God. Just go, you know what? Enough of this. And it all goes away. I mean, with one push of a button, we could go back to the Stone Age or cease to exist. Or we could have this amazing dystopian future that some people hope for. I'm an optimist. And as somebody who came out of the womb, a conspiracy within the conspiracy theorist, but also somebody that works with the organizations that are bringing in these changes, I have a very unique perspective. That perspective has allowed me to write a lot of books and provide a lot of educational resources that are widely available for free. Sadly, and from what I'm seeing on my timeline, not everyone is really prepared for what is supposed to be coming. That said, the one thing I want to compliment everybody on is starting to ask questions. Like, in other words, something isn't right. Maybe everything we've been told in this world has not been true. Maybe what we see in our news feeds and what we see on mainstream media, maybe there's an agenda attached to it. Maybe these agendas that have been pushed down our throat for however long I've been alive, maybe there was something behind that wasn't really organic. But I'm really proud of everyone to start asking questions. But here's the thing. It's a lot more fun going through life realizing that we don't know anything than it is assuming we do. Because when we assume that we know something, well, we can get blindsided with the actual truth. And that reminds me of this verse in the Gospel of Thomas, and of course it's in the Bible we have now, not the original Bible, but the Bible we have now, it alludes to this, but in the Gospel of Thomas it says it pretty plainly and quite awesomely, but I'm going to paraphrase it anyway. Seek the truth, relentlessly seek the truth. With everything you have in you, seek the truth. And then when you discover the truth, you're going to be wrecked. You're going to be disturbed, you're going to be broken in half. But then you will be set free and you will rule all over the world. In the last few years, I've been going through a massive unlearning process. In other words, unlearning all the bullcrap that I've been taught. What I was taught in school, what I was taught by religion, what I was taught by so many people that I was supposed to look up to and admire, only to find out that, well, they didn't know any better than anyone else. And this is not hating on anybody. Heck, people are doing the best they can do, and of course a semi would drive by while I'm making this video. So I'm going to keep talking and wait for this thing to go by. Didn't he ask for permission? I was filming. Never mind, I don't have a city permit, so can't get too upset. Or maybe that'll be good for B-roll later. Well, shoot, now he's just hanging out behind me. Oh well. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. It's so good to ask questions because pretending that we know everything is really just a great way to lead a life of misery. Because it's so much more fun going through life asking questions. By asking questions and not assuming that we know the truth, it also allows us to get along with people better. Because we seek to understand when we ask questions. In fact, instead of assuming that we know the right answer, just even if we believe what we have the right answer in our heart, it's still okay to listen to people's perspectives or other people's perspectives. Now, mind you, I get a little annoyed when people have a blind allegiance to a political party or a religion because, well, frankly, you know, man, grubby hands all over it, and who knows, right? In my opinion, again, my opinion, the only truth that we ever really know, and again, that's still hard to know, is the truth that comes from within. In other words, say that we're led or prompted to do something, or maybe, you know, like we're given a download, right? And then we're obedient to that download, or we do that, what we see in the vision, and then we walk it out. And even if it sounds crazy, right? We walk it out, and then all of a sudden we get this confirmation, either through someone else, something we read, you know, either way, it proves that that was something that was real. But it's still limited to perspective, because how many times have we gotten a download or a word for somebody, and maybe that word wasn't really for them. Maybe it was for us, right? So we're not always accurate. We don't always really know. And that's one of the things that I love about our Creator, is that the Creator allows us to walk out what we believe is true long enough to correct us when we're wrong. Because ultimately, I believe our Creator wants to lead us to a path to truth. And when we discover that truth, like I said before, or like it said in the Gospel of Thomas, it can wreck us. It can absolutely wreck us. So, keep asking questions, because here's a fact that you do need to brace yourself for. And this is a fact. Disinformation, misinformation, and a lot of regurgitated opinions are going to accelerate. There's going to be a lot more things that come through our news feeds that are deceiving. Deepfake technology is better than it's ever been. So, and there's a lot of precautions that we can take. You can go to my website at joshuatberglan.com or theworldsmayor.com, and you can type in the search engine deepfake technology or any term you want, and you're going to find a resource that is going to inform you. And guess what? Most of those resources are free. Anyway, again, www.joshuatberglan.com or www.theworldsmayor.com. Ask more questions. Even if you know the answer, still ask more questions. Seek to understand. Seek to have a deeper understanding, and don't just assume because your eyeballs saw it that it's true. Proof point. Another point. Don't think for a second what's happening in Nigeria or what you're being told by the American government what's happening in Nigeria is true. It's not. And that makes a lot of people mad because, you know, they think that I'm talking against Christians. That's far, far from the truth. In fact, Christians and Muslims are being killed by the same freaking people. And in fact, that strike from the United States military killed Christians. So start questioning the narratives. You know, the government's lied to us before. The politicians have lied to us before. Maybe it's time to start asking questions instead of just going along with what we're told. Anyway, thanks for watching. God bless.